On May 29, 2020, Dr. Cornell West, a leading voice of modern progressivism, was interviewed on CNN regarding the rampant violence in the streets of American cities following the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis 4 days earlier. "I think we're witnessing America as a failed social experiment," said West. Speaking about what the future holds, he added, "When you talk about the masses of black people, the precious poor and working class black people, brown, red, yellow, whatever color, they're the ones left out, and they feel so thoroughly powerless, helpless, hopeless. Then you get rebellion. White supremacy is going to be around for a long, long time, so don't be surprised when this happens again. But the question is, we must fight. Even in the moment where we have a failed social experiment, we must fight." Never thought I'd say this, but Cornell West is 100% correct. America is a failed social experiment. His America is, anyway. Meanwhile, as American cities burned in Cornell West's rage-driven America, the United States began a new era in space exploration when, for the first time, two Americans named Bob and Doug flew to the International Space Station in a revolutionary vehicle that was not the product of a government program. The Dragon capsule that they'd named Endeavour was, for the first time in human history, private property. "The United States is a distillation of the human spirit of exploration," said Elon Musk, the visionary entrepreneur behind SpaceX, the company that built the revolutionary Falcon rocket and Dragon capsule. Speaking about what the future holds for him, he added, "Now, of course, we need to bring them back safely, and we need to be able to repeat these missions and have this be a regular occurrence. There's a lot of work to do. I mean, this is a craft made by humans, for humans. This is something I think humanity should be excited about and proud of occurring on this day." And Elon Musk is 100% correct, too. America is a uniquely creative, optimistic, and above all, successful social experiment. His America is, anyway. So, let's compare and contrast these two Americas, shall we? Okay, and just to avoid any political labels that might just muddy the water with emotional baggage, we'll refer to Elon Musk's America as Team Red and Cornell West's America as Team Blue. And let's also pick a 6-letter word that really encapsulates the essence of each side. How about if we go with, how about Antifa for Blue America and SpaceX for Red America? So, what's the difference? Well, first and most importantly, Team Red are individualists. They see America as a collection of unique people. Team Blue are collectivists. They see America as a collection of unique communities. Now, as a result of this, Team Red strives for individual justice, that is, punishing the individual that committed the harm. Team Blue aims for social justice, the descendants of former victims punishing the descendants of former oppressors. Now, this also points out one of the most fundamental differences between these two Americas. Team Red is fascinated by the future, and Team Blue is obsessed with the past. Because they look forward, Team Red feels that they're masters of their own fate. Because they look back, Team Blue feels that they're victims of fate. Team Red therefore feels that society is essentially fluid and that it is possible to improve their lives. Team Blue feels that society is utterly rigid and your position in life is fixed and inalterable, meaning the only way to improve your life is to smash society. Now, of course, every person grows up with their own worldview and their own motivation, and those psychological attractors tend to pull people to one side or the other. Team Red has confidence in their own abilities. Therefore, competition doesn't frighten them. On the contrary, they view the inevitable failure that comes with competition as a learning opportunity and a way to improve themselves for the flexible future. Team Red feels no shame in losing, but they do feel great shame in cheating. Team Blue is comprised of players who, for whatever reason, feel inferior to others. Competition scares them because they expect to fail due to built-in social structures, and therefore it is fundamentally unfair. Since they think competition is unfair, Team Blue feels no shame in cheating, but they do feel great shame in losing. This belief in their own capabilities and their belief in a fluid society makes Team Red lean toward free markets. They want limited government, which means as few rules as possible so as not to restrict their options, but they despise cheaters to their core and so demand that those few rules be rigidly enforced. Now, on the other hand, convinced that a class or race-based society would prevent them from succeeding even if they tried, Team Blue tends to favor a powerful state that through taxation and regulation restrains the initiative and redistributes the gains made by Team Red, whose success is attributable only to their privileged position in a rigidly class-based society. These restrictions do not apply to themselves, however, due to their perceived victim status. The ability to ignore the rules when it suits them is perceived by Team Blue to be a form of justice. Now, due to these psychological differences, Team Red believes in rigid standards and believes that testing measures success. Team Blue believes in lessening or abolishing all standards because they believe that testing measures failure. Because Team Red tends to be confident, that makes them optimistic. They see their America as filled with people who want to help them up. Team Blue tends to be suspicious, which makes them pessimistic. Their America is filled with people who want to keep them down. That self-confidence predisposes Team Red to expect to be able to defend themselves with firearms to protect them from predators and immune systems to protect them from pandemics. Team Blue is utterly dependent on politicians or experts to keep them safe and tell them when they can leave the house. The end result is that Team Blue is fearful while Team Red is careful. New ideas stimulate Team Red, and they actively look for places to encounter them, like colleges and universities. New ideas frighten Team Blue, and they look for places where they can be protected from them, like colleges and universities. Because new experiences can reveal some of their pre-existing beliefs may be in error, Red players view changing their mind on an issue as a strength. Team Blue also understands that new experiences can change their perspective, but because of their lack of self-confidence, they view the idea of admitting that they'd been wrong as a sign of failure and therefore a show of weakness to be avoided at all costs. So, how does all of this translate into the daily lives of the residents of these two Americas? Well, Team Red gets up early, Team Blue stays up late. In a world of perceived opportunities, time is precious to Team Red. In the unalterable, predetermined future of Team Blue, time is something to be killed. That's why Team Red prefers activities that sharpen the mind, while Team Blue endlessly looks for new ways to dull the senses. Team Red studies things like engineering, which requires a huge commitment of time and effort. Team Blue studies things like STEM's intersectionality with power and patriarchy, which doesn't. Talking about your feelings is easy. Proficiency with calculus, that's hard. Team Red likes doing things that are hard. Team Blue likes doing things that are easy. Now, since Team Red thinks the future is what we make it, they study history to learn from the mistakes and successes of those who came before them. Since Team Blue sees the future as an endless continuation of power structures that they blame for their lack of success and happiness, their only interest in history is that it be destroyed. Team Red lives in the physical world of gravity, velocity, and aerodynamic pressure. Team Blue lives in the intellectual world of grievance, victimhood, and academic preconceptions. Red, therefore, sees truth as something external and objective, while Blue sees truth as internal and subjective. The further a Blue player departs from external reality, the greater he or she is rewarded. The greater a Red player diverges from external truth, the more of their friends die in fiery wreckage. Now, as a result of this, Team Red holds the idea of truth in high regard as something permanent and external that anyone can find if they search long enough and hard enough and honestly enough. Team Blue has such contempt for the entire idea of truth that most of them are proud of the several individual truths that they alone own. Hey, look, we can do this all day, so let's wrap it up back where we began. Cornell West talks of red, brown, yellow, and white people perpetually at war with one another and tells his followers they have to fight. Elon Musk talks about space exploration as something that all humanity should be proud of. Elon Musk has to unite people and have them trust each other in order to achieve his goals, and Cornell West has to divide people and get them to hate each other in order to achieve his. Now, if you're old enough so that all of this makes sense to you, then by now you probably already know which team you're on. But if you're still young, however, mentally at least, you may still be trying to figure out which team to be on. And here is where I have some good news and some bad news. So, which do you want first? Okay, the bad news is that most of the time, the team you end up on is a result of the simple, dumb luck of being born into a family that tells you that you can do anything you want if you work hard enough, versus one that tells you that you ain't shit and you never will be. If you're born lucky, your parents will give you a toy as a reward for good behavior. If you're not, then your parents give you a toy to stop the temper tantrum. Going from blue to red is difficult, but it's possible. Going from red to blue is a whole lot easier. Now, Cornell West and others will tell you that making it onto Team Red is based exclusively on your gender, but especially your skin color. That's not true. Look at these people in mission control at SpaceX. Cornell West is lying to you because it is Cornell West's America that's obsessed with skin color. Elon Musk recruits from a pool he calls humanity. As a matter of fact, if you think about it, it's the upper echelons of Team Blue that are restricted rigidly according to skin color. And now for the good news. Anybody can be on Team Red. Anybody. All you have to do are 3 simple things. I didn't say they were easy things. I said they were simple things. First, you have to be willing to work hard. The Blue Team playbook reads like this. Look at all that wealth other people have. Go out there and burn it. Team Red's credo is much more difficult. Look at all that wealth other people have. Go out there and earn it. It takes decades of endless work and stress to build a business. It only takes a few minutes to burn one to the ground. Second rule for Team Red. The price you pay for controlling your own destiny is that you are responsible for it. You bought it, so you own it. Live up to your responsibilities. Man up, whatever your gender happens to be. And every time you're given a choice between doing the smart thing or doing the right thing, you take the second one every time or else you get cut from the team. The third and final thing you have to do to join Team Red is lighten up a little. I mean, my God, with cell phones, antibiotics, anesthetics, air conditioning, internet access, $200 sneakers, and enough cheap food to produce an obesity epidemic, even the poorest Americans today live a life that emperors in the past could never have dreamed of. Yes, life is unfair. Some people are born with 4 aces and a king, and others don't have a pair of deuces. But with his bachelor's degree in physics and economics, Elon Musk understands the one great secret to life that magna cum laude graduate at Harvard and Princeton doctor of philosophy Cornell West either cannot or will not see, and that's simply this. You don't have to end up where you started from. You get to play the hand. Cornell West's Blue America is, as he said, a failed social experiment. His socialist, progressive, grievance, and entitlement-based social model has resulted in nothing but murder and misery, and all he offers for the future is endless race war. Elon Musk's Red Team is in orbit, looking down not just at America, but every single individual human on planet Earth every 90 minutes. Skin color is not visible from low Earth orbit. Blue Team is going to Starbucks. Red Team is going to the stars. Now, I'm here because Red Team is recruiting. We're always recruiting. So I've saved the very best part for last. The single greatest reason to join Team Red is that Red Team members are consistently very, very happy. And Blue Team, for the most part, is perpetually miserable. Isn't that what it's all about? Human happiness? The maximum amount of happiness for the largest amount of people. So, which one do you want to be? A blue-blooded American who's perpetually red in the face with hate and outrage, or a red-blooded American who doesn't have the time or the inclination to sing the blues?